Hey, what's up? I'm Seth, and today I'm asking the question, should I take my kids to see the new Marvel movie, Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings? Okay, so last night, me and my wife, we went and saw Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings in the theater. And the first question I'm going to answer is it worth seeing in the theater? Because for me, having kids, it's a big hassle to go to the theaters. Like, it takes a lot to get babysitters, and is it worth it for, a 2.5 hour movie? It's hard to tell. For this movie, I would say yes. Now, I am a movie person. I do enjoy movies. I do enjoy the theater. But this is an action martial arts movie, and it was really cool to see that action on the big screen. You can see all the detail of it, the audio as well. With that action and the music, and then just the overall visuals of this movie. It's a beautiful movie, and so I guess I'm spoiling right now my overall take of this movie. I really liked it, and I think it's worth seeing in the theater. So the other question is though, is it worth taking my kids to? Because that can be a big hassle as well. And I'm assuming this movie will come out on Disney Plus in the next couple of months. So, maybe you could wait, or maybe you should go to the theater. Well, let me tell you what I thought. There's some things that I liked, some things that I didn't like. Some of the things I liked you might not like, so let me get into that. Before I talk about what I liked and what I didn't like, I do need to give just a light spoiler warning. I will not give away major plot points of this movie. I'm going to try and keep that to myself just because it's a brand new movie, and I don't want to spoil the surprise. That's a lot of fun. But light spoilers, just because when I talk about things I liked and didn't like, I'm obviously going to have to give away a couple things about this movie, but hopefully no more than what you would see in the regular trailer. Okay, the first thing that I really liked about this movie, and I really liked this aspect of it, but it felt like a unique Marvel movie. I feel like when Marvel takes a chance, it's a lot of fun. So, Black Widow, that was like a spy Marvel movie. This one felt like a martial arts Marvel movie, which is really cool. They don't get away from the whole, formula of a Marvel movie, the hero's journey. It's still pretty similar. Maybe that's a light spoiler warning. You see kind of what you've seen in the past as far as the hero's journey of discovery and what they figure out, and how they handle conflict. That's still pretty similar to other Marvel movies, but it's done in a unique way with such a unique style that makes it a ton of fun. This is a martial arts movie. There is some great action. The martial arts is choreographed so well. Now, I really like that about this movie. And in fact, I think that for me and my kids, they can handle that martial arts. However, it is kicking, it is punching, it is violent. Now, it's not bloody violent, and it's not that gritty violence that I felt in Black Widow. I felt like Black Widow, you felt those punches. There was a lot of anger there. For this movie, it's fast, it's stylized, it's a little more fantasized, and I thought it was more fun. But if your kids are sensitive to hitting, punching, kicking, there's like collateral damage. I know they're just, fighting these ninja warriors, and they're like, flying off the screen, possibly flying off a building, you don't really know. If they're sensitive to that, maybe that's going to go on the not like side for you. So just be aware of that. But for me, overall, I like this type of action and violence better than, the shooting and the kicking and the punching that feels gritty and real. So that was fun for me. Okay, the second thing that I really liked about this movie that I thought was tons of fun is there is a very strong culture, a very strong Asian culture in this movie, which I really liked. I thought that was very, very cool. Unfortunately for me, I'm raised in the Western United States. I have very little experience with that culture, so I was really happy to see that. I thought that was really fun, and I think that'd be really cool for my kids to see. Now, there was a lot of subtitles in this movie. Well, not a lot, but a lot for a Marvel movie. They usually don't have subtitles. I mean, we even have characters from space, but apparently they speak English there in space, but they don't speak English in the countries that were shown in this movie. So that was a very interesting choice, but I think it's kind of cool because it highlights the culture. It celebrates the language. And there was a lot of those types of things, like in the music, in the style, in the editing, in the colors, in the overall art and characters, the wardrobe, everything had this kind of Chinese feel. So that was a lot of fun. All right, and the last thing I really liked about this movie was just the overall theme of finding yourself, having a true sense of self, knowing who you are and taking personal responsibility. I thought that was really, really cool. I hope that's, that's maybe a light spoiler, but it's not giving too much away, but that's a theme for this movie, is just, taking on responsibility and finding your true sense of self. And I felt like they did a really good job in how they did that. I won't give things away, but the family story and the conflict there brings up some very cool themes that are going to be fun to discuss. I won't talk about it here, but when you watch it with your kids, if you watch it with your kids, those are some things to bring up, to talk about, the good and bad of that family situation. Okay, what are some things that I didn't like for my kids that I might not want to share with them? Well, there is some scary stuff at the end. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but there is, that final Marvel climactic battle. It just happens in all the movies, so that's pretty expected. But there are some things that might be seen as a little scary to some younger children, so just be aware of that. And the other thing that I didn't love about this movie, I kind of did. If you've seen some of my videos before, you know that language to me is sometimes funny. I think it's hilarious. And actually, I think a lot of times when they use language in this movie, it was played for comedic effect. And I laughed. However, it got to the point where I started noticing it. It's funny because in a PG-13 movie, I just kind of expect to be some swearing that is just going to come up. And I don't really usually pay too much attention to it. I do when my kids are in the room. I'm like, oh yeah, that is a swear word. I should maybe be careful about that. I'm not sure. But in this movie, I felt like there was a little more than in a regular Marvel movie. Not a ton. And for me, it's not the super offensive swear words. There's like a grading for me as far as like which swear words I tolerate. It was still on the lower end, if that makes sense. But it is present. It is there. And there was more of it than I usually expect in a Marvel movie. Okay, that's what I liked and what I didn't like. Overall, again, I would share this movie with my kids. I thought it was tons of fun. I just enjoyed it. It was a breath of fresh air. I really like the unique choices that Marvel is making in their shows. I feel like they've kind of tried to take some chances and some risks there, and it's paid off. I feel like they did the same thing with this movie, and it's paid off. It was fun for me. I enjoyed it a lot, and it is something that I would share with my kids. So there are a lot of great questions that I think could come out of this movie. I, again, don't want to give spoilers, so I'm just going to tell you what questions I would ask at the end, and then you can do the same once you've seen it. But the first question I would ask is, do you think people can truly change? That's a part of that whole family story. It's really neat to see. So, do you think that people can truly change? I would also ask them, what do you think gave Shang Chi his strength at the end of the movie? What was his true strength? You see that, again, that whole hero's journey. Where would that true strength come from? And then finally, I would ask, how is family helpful and how is family hurtful in this movie? You get both sides of it. And again, I like that perspective and I like kind of analyzing that. So I think that would be fun to ask my kids. Okay, so that's the questions I would ask. That's what I thought of this movie. I thought it was great. I would share it with my kids. Comment below and let me know if you would show this movie to your kids, if you've already seen it, or if not, or if you have some questions, let me know as well. If you liked this video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.